playoffs. Clippers and Wizards, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, showing off a little bit of everything. The Kentucky product going to find Angel Delgado with a lob, and he's going to flip it in. Thank you very much. Appreciate your teammate. Later, off a Wizards miss, Gilgeous-Alexander with the rebound. 11th pick in the first round of Charlotte in transition. Here we go. Great pass to Desi Rodriguez, who lays it in. How about this? We're going left. Yeah. Watch it again. Head down to the hole. The finish. Continue to get to the rim. Bullies his way to the basket. Lays it in. 17 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds for the Clippers. They get the win, 89-74. Doris Burke is on the call for 2 Summer League games tonight. She joins us now in Sports Center. Doris, the 2 big-name restricted free agents that are left out there, Clint Capella and Marcus Smart. Is it more important for the Rockets to keep Capella or for the Celtics to keep Smart, in your opinion?
Well, Jay, I think the Celtics would certainly miss the secondary ball handling that they used Marcus for, and obviously the defense and intangibles, the wealth of those things that contribute winning. But for me, it's Clint Capella. The Houston Rockets have already lost Luke Mbah-a-Moute and Trevor Ariza, 2 excellent defensive pieces. What you have in Capella is that rim runner, that rim protector, the pick-and-roll partner for the great playmaking that they have with Chris Paul and James Harden. He has established such great chemistry with both of those guys. To me, there's still a ceiling there offensively. I don't know how big. He needs to continue to work on his free throws, but I think it's Clint Capella for sure. Okay,
another thing for you. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver spoke after the league's Board of Governors meeting last night. Had this to say about potentially lowering the age minimum from 19 to 18. Take a listen.
My personal view is that we're ready to make that change, that it won't come immediately, but that when I've weighed the pros and cons, that given that Condoleezza Rice and her commission has recommended to the NBA that those one-and-done players now come directly into the league, and in essence the college community is saying we do not want those players anymore, I think that sort of tips the scale in my mind that we should be taking a serious look at lowering our age to 18.
Doris, what's your reaction to hearing Adam Silver say he's in favor of lowering the NBA age minimum to 18 and going back to allowing players to jump from high school directly to the league?
Honestly, Jay, for those of us who have covered the league, this felt like a foregone conclusion from everything we were hearing over the course of last winter. Adam Silver just giving voice to what we had heard was going to happen. I believe it's the right thing for the players. I believe it's the right thing long-term for the NCAA institutions. The fascinating part now becomes the adjustments once again for Kentucky and Kansas and Duke, who have been so good at recruiting those one-and-dones.
Doris Burke calling Summer League tonight on ESPN2. Doris, thank you so much. See you then.
Change. Doris Burke joins me now from the Las Vegas Summer League. And Doris, we continue to wait on Kawhi Leonard, but those Lakers do have the assets to pair him alongside LeBron. I mean, how aggressive do you think Lakers brass should be in this situation?
Well, Sage, to your point about those assets, to get an elite two-way player in Kawhi, even though we don't know where he is physically, the reality is you're going to have to give up something, and something valuable. But the one piece I would refuse to give up is Brandon Ingram. He has the kind of size, length, and skill on the perimeter that is so coveted in this league. He has worked incredibly hard to become a more efficient three-point shooter. He is now confident in enough in his handle to go left and right and attack the cup. And the reality is the more his body fills out, the more repetition he gets, he is going to be a big-time problem as a scorer in this league. He's tapping potential that, to me, still has a very high ceiling. No way I give up Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, you are definitive about that. Don't even ask about Brandon. Okay, on another topic, Doris, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, the Thunder granted Carmelo Anthony permission to meet with prospective teams. That includes Houston and Miami. I mean, we keep hearing about Houston. How do you see him fitting in with their current roster there?
Well, there is an immediate comfortability with his good friend Chris Paul. And I know that Chris, through the 1 year in Houston, has earned equity both with the front office and with Mike D'Antoni. But the one thing I wonder about is what are the conversations centering on? Because last year, Carmelo Anthony told me when he went to Oklahoma City, his expectation going in was that they would all average 30. I don't see that happening. What I'm curious about is can they access Carmelo Anthony's post game, his mid-range game into that offense, or is he going to be a spot-up shooter? And the content of those conversations fascinate me. I hope it comes out eventually, Sage.
Yeah, me too. Hurry up, guys. Okay, tonight On the call there in Vegas, 2 games, Kings, Grizzlies. Let's focus on the second one, Lakers and Knicks. What are you keeping your eye on for that one?
Well, I'm a Knicks fan. I can be unbiased in the summer. I love Kevin Knox. I love his skill set. I love his game. I love his demeanor. I had a chance to talk to him on the way out of the arena yesterday. New York is a difficult place to play, and this guy has the countenance and comportment to handle that scrutiny. But again, length and athleticism, ability to stretch you in transition. He's a big-time scorer, and I love the idea of him at the 4 and Kristaps Porzingis at the 5. So Mr. Knox is a delightful kid, and he's a delightful talent, and he gives hope to the Knicks. On the other side, listen, Mo Wagner is tremendous. I have been so impressed here with this kid's demeanor, Sage. He is 6'10", he can shoot the ball, he can put it on the deck. But the thing that's really surprised me is the edge that this young man plays with. Super skilled, but you better be a little bit mean and have a little bit of toughness, and Mr. Wagner has all of that.
So completely unbiased Doris Burke today. That Nick Tandem may or may not come through. We're allowed to do this in Summer League. Doris Burke with Mark Jones on the call tonight. Both games live on ESPN2. Thank you, Doris. Enjoy.
Wojnarowski reporting Carmelo Anthony has permission from Oklahoma City to speak with other teams. Anthony and his reps reportedly met with the Rockets and the Heat recently at Summer League in Vegas. Melo will waive his no-trade clause to facilitate a trade to a team that will release him, or the Thunder will exercise the NBA's waive and stretch provision on Anthony. Brian Windhorst joining me now. Brian, we just heard that update from Woj, but take us through why the OKC Carmelo separation plan could be more complicated than meets the eye.
Yeah, so what you're getting here is both sides are giving each other something. Melo is now freed up to talk to other teams to arrange a place for him to land. And Melo, who has a no-trade clause, is allowing the Thunder to go find a place to trade for him. Here's the issue, though. At the end of the day, today, Melo is a toxic asset. In order for you to trade him, you're going to either have to attach some goodies, draft picks or cash, which the Thunder don't want to do, or you're going to have to take back your own toxic asset or assets in return. So before you run to the trade machine and figure out how your team can trade for Carmelo Anthony, realize that the only way this trade would go through is if it's to one of Melo's preferred teams, or if that team instantly will release Carmelo Anthony. And that's a big thing to swallow because he's got a $28 million guaranteed salary for this season.
Hey, things seem to be really, really quiet surrounding the Spurs and Kawhi Leonard. What lies ahead next in this process as it plays out?
Yeah, so the next important thing is 2 weeks from tomorrow, Jay, and that is the Team USA training camp. There's a get-together in Las Vegas at the end of this month. The brand new head coach of Team USA, Greg Popovich, on the roster and expected to be there for training camp, or at least to meet with his new teammates, Kawhi Leonard. Now, in the past, we have seen players who are in stalemates with their teams be excused. Most recently, Kevin Love in 2014, when he had demanded a trade, he was excused. That said, this is an opportunity, if they could somehow get in the same room together, of Greg Popovich and Kawhi Leonard working together, possibly finding some way to move forward. At the end of the day, the Spurs are going to want to exhaust all options before they trade Kawhi Leonard. They have not exhausted all options yet. And even if this ultimately doesn't mean a connection and Kawhi begs off and doesn't come to Las Vegas, it's something that the Spurs are looking to see if they can create something to build on.
Okay, one more for you while I have you here. Sources tell ESPN the Rockets' initial offer to restricted free agent Clint Capella was in the 4 years, $60 million range. But he's looking for a $100 million contract, similar to the deal that Thunder big man Steven Adams received. What are the chances that the Rockets and Capella can close that gap a bit?
The problem here is both sides are being reasonable. Clint Capella is worth that $100 million deal that Steven Adams got a couple of years ago. But the Rockets look out there and see there's nobody left who can make him that offer. And the offer is, your market is what you can get out there on the open market, and he can't get that offer. And so the Rockets are playing hardball. It's hard to be a restricted free agent. It's really hard to be a restricted free agent in 2018 when there's not space out there. Capella really has two options here. He can take his qualifying offer, which would mean he would leave 15+ million on the table this year that he could earn, or and then become an unrestricted free agent in a year, or he could just hold out, waiting for the Rockets to come up with a higher offer. Maybe that's August, maybe it's October, maybe it's later. We've seen both weapons used. Neither one of them are good for this relationship, so hopefully there's a middle ground. But right now, there's a lot of acrimony there.
All right, we'll keep watching that. Brian Windhorst, thank you for all that. Appreciate you, brother.
Starting to build reputations. Trae Young needs to get going because so far he has been poor at basketball. Wendell Carter Jr. still needs some minutes. Hawks and Bulls in Vegas. Oh, my goodness. Donovan Mitchell is there. Young, he doesn't have to play anymore. He's a good rookie. You can sit. Young, splash. There you go. Finding his groove. He looks like it's November of last year and he was a freshman at OU all over again. There's another one that finds the bottom. Look at him go from 20. We're starting to measure him. That's the form we love to see. Young was 6 of 35 from three-point range in his first 5 summer league games. He was 6 of 11 through 3 quarters on Tuesday, finished 7 of 13. As for Wendell Carter Jr., where's Wendell? There's Wendell. Give me some defense. Swattage right there. Just stick around. That's a rim defender. Now some post moves. Little offense. Up and under. Love it. Give the kid a bucket. Junior Moore. That's easy. He's all up in there with 2 hands. 23 points. 9 of 13. In the fourth, Young matched up on Carter Jr. in the wing. And Young, so he was 7 of 13 from 3. He was 7 of 19 overall, which means he missed every 2-shot he took. Every 2-pointer. He was 0 for 6. There you go. Get farther away. Now he's feeling it. 33 points. A couple of 30-foot bombs. Young, 24 points, 5 assists, and the Hawks win it 101-93.
Our man P.J. Carlissimo was all excited last night about this guy, Kevin Knox, the 9th pick. Knicks taking on the Lakers. Second quarter already. 6.3 to go in the quarter. Knox pretty much going to go end-to-end. Foul line to the goal. Only takes 4.8 seconds to do it. Not that it's timed all that up. Not that timing even matters, except that we're showing he gets up the court quick. Floater, good, 11 points in the first half. He's still going to town. Now, David Fizdale, not coaching Summer League, but in the stands, cheering his team on. Knox, impressive. Put one in the air. 3's good. Later in the third, Knox going to step into that 3, second in a row. Under 2 to play in the quarter. Catch and shoot. Quick release. Call the fire department. Under 20 seconds to go in the third. Now Knox in some isolation, sets himself up, bangs that. He had 29. 16 came in the third quarter. But the Lakers were the winners here. 109-92. Josh Hart went for 27 points in this one. Fan favorite Doris Burke joins us now. You just got to call Kevin Knox. Everybody has been raving about him and his early play. Have you joined the club as well?
I have. I think he's a little ahead of where they expected him to be in terms of his handle, his ability to manipulate pick and roll. Listen, they thought it would take a little time, Kenny, to adjust to the three-point line. He looks very confident and comfortable with the range, his ability to get off the dribble drive in either direction. There's a lot to be excited about where Kevin Knox is concerned. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because it is Summer League. Defenses will become much better and a much higher level, but there's a lot to like, Kenny.
I know you've been talking up all the coaches out there. 1, have they told you to stop bothering them? And 2, what's the best story? What's the best takeaway? What do you got for us?
Well, you know what? I never knew, Kenny, and you know this, you've been to many NBA games, the pregame routine of players is to go through a workout. And sometimes it looks like they have played a game at the end of that workout. And the Tex Winter Lifetime Achievement Award winner was Tim Gergerich. And there are generations of NBA fans who have been helped by Tim in terms of player development. I never knew that it was Tim who started that routine. So that was a pretty cool story. We heard many of them. What I loved is all of these coaches emphasized the relationships and the influence of coaches that preceded them. It was pretty cool stuff tonight, Kenny.
You know what? Last summer, I was at Jamal Crawford's Pro-Am, and I'm watching this guy. I think he's like an NBA point guard I can't recognize. Turns out he goes to Western Washington. It shows you kind of the fine line there is between who makes it, who doesn't, and who's recognized. Is there a random player out there that has given you some notice, like, hey, this guy might make the league next time around?
Well, you say the last impression you have. Alex Caruso, who played for our Jeff Van Gundy in that FIBA qualifier, has shown an ability, I think, to be a point guard in this league, albeit a backup. Kenny, for a long time, he's got incredible size. His decision-making is exceptional. He gave up his body on multiple occasions tonight. He's just one of those guys you want in your program because he's never going to open his mouth. It's never going to be a detriment to the team. It's all going to be about winning, and whatever opportunity comes his way, he'll seize it. I really enjoyed watching Alex Caruso play. So he's one guy that popped for me, and I did just watch him. So
yeah, well, they're not all max deal guys. It's fun rooting for the outsiders. Enjoy Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.